Then let's start by looking at proportions. Okay. Now, really, we are still working with ratios, but now we're looking at something specific called proportions. And it works like this. It says if two ratios are equivalent, their parts are in proportion. So if we remember that what we started with, we had the blocks and the lines. So again, we can look at 5 to 15 to 5, representing the number of the colored blocks, and 1 to 3 to 1, representing the number, sorry, just admitting somebody, representing the number of the lines. We can say that those two figures are in proportion. Okay, so 5 to 15 to 5 is in proportion to 1 to 3 to 1, or 1 is in proportion to 5, 3 is in proportion to 15, and 1 is in proportion to 5 again. Okay. How are proportions applied? Okay, so now let's see how this works. This is a question, I actually think this comes straight out of your assignment. You want to buy 200 meters of wire for a fence. Okay, the assistant cuts 50 centimeters and see that it weighs 200 grams. How many kilograms of wire must he give you? Okay, let's take this step by step. Okay, first thing that we must do is we must make sure somebody must just mute there. Getting feedback. Sorry guys, just mute. Don't know who the guilty party is. Okay, that's fine. So here over there, we at the top we see 200 meters of wire, and then the assistant cuts off 50 centimeters. We cannot have meter and centimeter, so we must change the centimeter into meter. 50 centimeters is the same as 0.5 meter. How do we know that? We know that to move from centimeter to meter, we must divide by 100 because there is indeed 100 centimeters in a meter. Okay, so 50 centimeters can be written as 0.5 meters. We also see there that when he cuts off the 50 centimeters, he gets 200 grams, but the question asks you how many kilograms. So we're going to take the 200 grams and we are going to turn it into kilograms. We know that there are 1,000 grams in a kilogram. Therefore, if we divide 200 by 1,000, we get 0.2. And so 2,000 grams can be written as 0.2 kilogram. Now, step 2. Write down what you know and what you don't know yet. Okay, what do we know? We know that 0.5 meters weighs 0.2 kilogram. What we want to know is how much does 200 meter weighs. Because you understand why this is needed. Because it's not like the assistant can take the wire and walk for 200 meters, because then he will bump against the fence or we will be into somebody else's yard and maybe the guy there has a shotgun. So this is why we have this method. Okay, what we don't know therefore is how much does 200 meters weigh. Okay, step 3, write these as fractions, length on length and weight on weight. Okay, so length we have 0.5 meter and we want 200 meter. Weight, we know that the half a meter is going to weigh 0.2 kilograms. We want to know what will be the weight of the 200 meters. Okay, so we write it down as that, and then we simply cross multiply to solve x. Okay, so if we cross multiply 0.5 with x, we get 0.5x. If we cross multiply 200 with 0.2, we are likely going to get 40. Always going to get 40. But we want the x on its own, And so therefore, the way to do that is to divide both sides of this little equation by 0.5. So x divided by 0.5x divided by 0.5 leaves us with x, and 40 divided by 0.5 leaves us with 80. And remember the unit, do not forget the unit, it's 80 kilogram. Okay, because that is what we are looking for. So now we know that if we want 200 meters of wire, the guy can simply just remove wire until he's got 80 kilogram of wire on the scale, and then he now knows that you will have your 200 meters. What is more likely in the real world is that the owner already did that before the time, and so they know that it is, say for instance, you can only buy wire in units of 50 meter at the discount price, and so then they will simply say, well, we know that it's 40 kilogram per 100 meter or 20 kilogram per 50 meters. There will be some norm that they would have decided on before.